Call the select board meeting, August 17th, 2023 to order. First business would be the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, I'd like to have a moment of silence for one of our own firemen, Logan LaBelle. And so if we could have a moment of silence. Okay, next would be public comment. First, public comment, I'd like to ask the cemetery commission to give us a report.
Yeah. Well, basically what I'm here for is I've got a couple questions for the select board. I came to you guys about a year and a half ago with our problem of trying to get somebody to do the mowing. We put it out to bid and nobody bid it. We put a little blurb in the town report asking if anybody's interested. No one is interested. We've contacted 3 or 4 different people. They aren't interested. Basically because of the weed whacking.
Yeah.
We've done some inquiring. I've contacted some lawn care people, and they normally get $1 a minute. So you'd be talking about $2,600 a week from home. I don't think we can afford that, to be honest with you. There's been some talk that, and it's probably just rumor, but it's been talk that they're looking to hire somebody for a road crew to do the mowing during the summer and work on the road crew plowing in the winter, and when there's no mowing, that they would work with a road crew. Is there any truth to that?
There has been some talk. There was talk of, at one time, maybe bringing the guy at the wreck, bringing the guy in from the wreck. There has been some talk, like you said, another guy in the town. I know Ben's been doing it, and I think the board is just kind of let it go and hope that, you know, I know he keeps telling us, and we know it's gonna come to an end.
Right.
And,
well, he's working, not working from home anymore.
Right.
So he's got 2 hours a day, he's traveling now, so it's becoming harder and harder and harder. So he really wants to get out of it.
Yeah, and we knew that was coming,
Yeah.
and I think that's something the board's gonna have to sit down and talk about what we wanna do. And so we'll plan on it for next year and see if we hire in another guy at the town, or if we work with the rec department, or, you know, it's, you know, we're gonna have to take time and sit down and.
Right, and that's why I'm coming now, because,
Right.
you know, and he finishes in October, and after his last mow, he goes through, and after that, he picks all the leaves up, and then he does his cleanup in the spring. So it's not just the mowing he does, he does an excellent job.
Yeah.
So, and so I didn't want to wait too long.
Right, I think it's a pretty good time to come in and let us know, and I think it's something that we're gonna have to start talking about, and, you know,
Yeah.
figure out, you know, and I know that it's gonna be hard. I know we aren't gonna find anybody, to come and do it like Ben has. So, you know, I think, we'll have to either hire somebody with the town and work with the town boys, or do something with the rec department.
Right, because if we let it go, the phones are gonna ring out right off the hook.
Right.
You know, people are spoiled over the last few years with Ben doing it, so, you know, before Ben came, my phone was ringing right off the hook all the time, so.
Yeah,
So, but, we can do that, and if you wanna meet, you know, want us to meet with you sometime, and go over everything.
he does, any of the rest of the board have anything to say?
Is this just the cemetery in East Highgate?
What's that?
Is this the East Highgate cemetery?
Well, no, we have 11 cemeteries.
There are 11.
There's 3 active, and the other 8 are inactive, but we mow 7 and weed whack 4. The 4 we weed whack, we do them 2 to 3 times a year. Some of them you have to walk to for a fair distance to do it. And the others are mowed usually weekly or as needed. This year with the rain, it's weekly. The 3 years that we had the drought, it was maybe 2-3 weeks you could go, but, you know, it's stated in Ben's contract as needed. So, and,
Best guesstimate on hours required to do all 11?
okay, so.
In just 1 week, if you do all 11 in 1
Yeah.
week, how many hours you think?
It's gonna be 30 to 40 hours, depending on the weed whacking.
And I'm assuming that's the majority of the work is the weed whacking.
A lot, yes. Yeah. Normally it's about 35 hours, and when he does, he'll take, usually 1 week he'll go weed whack one of them, and then next week he'll weed whack another one, and keep a rotation like that. So it's probably 40 hours, 35 to 40 hours is a good estimate.
It's a full-time job.
Anyway, I got one other thing. Also that time I was with you, I mentioned we're gonna be putting a fence around this cemetery here. We're gonna be doing the 207 side this year. Next year, we're gonna try to get the 78 side done. When we come this way, I guess I need to know whether you guys are gonna put some type of gate in there so the road crew can open it to push snow in there, or are we just gonna put a standard fence up through?
I think there probably should be some kind of gate there, because we're gonna push it, the town's gotta go somewhere with that snow. So I would say, we should put some kind of gate in.
So once we get to the front, we'll come to the corner, then we'll have to sit down and discuss what you guys wanna put in for a gate.
Yeah.
What kind of fencing?
Chain link.
Chain link.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not.
4-foot chain link, we're gonna run. We're gonna do it in sections. We'll come back the front next year, then we'll come probably the following year, we'll come up to the corner and probably somewhere's over here, and then we'll finish it the year after. And that fence should be done, that should complete our fences for all of our cemeteries.
Excellent.
Okay.
Anything else?
Anybody have anything for Kevin?
Thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
So just let me know if you guys wanna sit down with us and
Yeah.
try to get things organized, hashed out or whatever, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
we will.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. Is there any other public comment? Sue?
Yes, this has been brought to my attention by quite a few people, and I've already talked to, I love the Highgate Arena, and Kevin knows I'm there. I've been there for 35, 40 years. I have a big concern, handicap parking, I think there's only 2, is there only 2 handicap parking?
Yeah.
I have talked to a lawyer friend of mine, and it needs to be addressed, big time. Myself, as a Highgate resident, and I've been at that ring for 35 years, I shouldn't have to park over to the Highgate School. I I had back surgery and I do not want to park at Highgate School this year. I'm petrified of falling on my back. It needs to be addressed. I know of 5 people, there's one that comes in, her grandson's gonna be playing this year, she's in a wheelchair. She shouldn't have. You need more handicap parking, and I would love to see the select board talk to a lawyer. I've already talked to a lawyer friend of mine. It needs to be addressed to get more handicap parking over there. That's a big concern of mine.
Okay.
You have to get over there quicker than my father.
Well, there's 5 or 6 of us that
Yeah.
can
Even if they put 10 spots in, like you said, and if you're the 11th person, what do you do?
Yep. And I just want it addressed because myself, I felt I shouldn't have to park over to the Highgate School. I've been there since Matt Rowley's played. I've been at that rink. And I felt I shouldn't have to park over to the Highgate. I think that is good.
Yeah.
And that's a big concern of mine, especially this year.
Does anybody know how many total parking spaces there are at the arena?
No, no.
Not enough.
I would if he was here, I'm surprised he's not.
So I just Googled Sue while you were, because I don't know, but accessible parking spaces required. It's dependent on how many parking spaces are in the lot.
Yes, it goes by the park.
So if it's like 26 to 50, which I'm imagining the arena falls within, to be ADA compliant only requires 2 handicap. But I don't see why we can't go more.
That's a big concern, because like I said, there's about 5 or 6 that I know of that his parents have one, and I can name 5 others, so they're great.
That's what I was just
I'm
gonna
not
say.
I'm just talking about.
When we first built the rink and when I was manager
Yep.
there, it used to be all the parking spots
Yes.
along the building
Yes,
were handicapped.
yes.
And the one for the ambulance and the rest were all handicapped.
And it just needs to be addressed again. I'm just bringing it up because it's just not for myself, but I've heard a lot of other people have talked to me about it, because they know I come to the select board. And I'm a concerned citizen as well. It needs
And
to
it's
be addressed.
legitimate handicap people that are using the spots already. There's more handicap people that attend the arena than there are spots.
Yep, I know, and that's the sad part.
Got 90 parking spots.
Now,
Should be 4 spots then. 75 to 100 requires 4
okay.
handicap spots.
But we can have as many as we want,
Right,
right?
minimum would be
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What is there, 8? Must be 8 spots plus the ambulance spot.
We can't just put that
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no ambulance over there on the side.
Okay. So is there any other public comment, anything else?
No, I just want to bring this up. I have something later for the tax thing, but that's.
Okay. Any other public comment? Okay. Moving on, Public Works, update. First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Butch Russo for everything he's done. 20-something years, and in the last 3 years, I've learned a lot from your Butch. I learned I never want to plow snow or road bridge. It just, it takes a special person. And I just say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you, you'll take a phone call any time of night, any time of day, you don't get upset, and sometimes I say, oh, what's he gonna say, but you talk to me with a smile, and really appreciate it. I really enjoyed working with you, and I think the rest of the board feels the same way. And anybody, anything to say?
Again, I echo the string thanks for everything you've done.
Why don't you keep coming in buying lunch, we're good.
Appreciate working with you guys. It's been a good 20 years. It's a hard decision to make, but hope it's the right one that I can enjoy the rest of my time.
Donna says it's the right one.
Wish you nothing but the best.
Absolutely, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's always a spot. Richard, it's always a spot for him, right, if you want to come back.
Yeah.
There's lawn mowing that needs to be done.
Kevin will get you hooked up.
Oh, sure.
Okay,
Now I'll do the weed whacker, so he's not gonna do it.
okay, thank you again, Bud. And on the other note, I wanna welcome, Nick Scott. He's gonna take Butch's place, and,
Yeah, that guy.
welcome aboard, Nick. And, we wish you the best.
And see what's gonna happen in 20 years?
I was too young to get them longer than that.
That's right.
Actually, one other thing, Richard,
Yeah.
next week, open to the public, we're having a little luncheon for
Yeah.
Butch's retirement.
Yeah.
23rd?
4 or something.
23rd.
23rd,
Yeah.
August 23rd from 1 to 4.
Yeah.
Everybody's invited.
Yes, open house, come see Philip.
AKA Butch.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Public Works update. Do you have anything for us, Butch, or?
Crack sealing is done. We're putting culverts in right now and doing some grant work. Paving, they're way behind, so it's, hopefully in a couple of weeks you'll see the paving done. It's a little later than I'd like to see, but with this weather, there's not much we can do.
Okay,
Anything else, Nick?
okay. Thank you. Transfer station, update with Tyler Billings.
Tyler has not joined, he has not emailed, he has not texted, and he has not called. So I am awaiting that conversation, so why don't you go right on to Shelley?
Okay, town treasurer update. Shelley LaRush.
Yes, hello.
It's good to see you, Shelley.
It's good to be here. Thanks, Scott. So Richard has the check warrant in front of him already.
Yeah. Has everybody seen this?
Yes.
Okay, does everybody's okay with it? Hey, can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second. Second. Motion is Scott, a second from Vern. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. Okay, the ayes have it. 5-0. And we'll sign it.
So while you're signing that, a quick delinquent tax update. As of today, we are down to $51,488.77 outstanding, and I have been receiving a few phone calls. The deadline was July 31st, and pretty well starting tax sale process all over again. So, contact me if you need to pay your taxes. Other than that, I've just been busy kind of preparing for the auditors. They're going to be here the first week in September, the 7th, 6th, and 7th, I believe. So, getting busy. They will be here. Speaking of that, there is an internal control checklist that's also in front of Richard. It's kind of just names who does what in the office, so they know there's two sets of eyes on most things that happen. The only thing that really changes on there is the signature at the bottom. But Wendy gets the mail, so I'm not the one that's the sole person getting the mail, opening the mail, depositing what's in the mail, seeing the mail, things like that. Judy LaRush comes in and reconciles with me the monthly bank statement, so she sees the statements and she sees the bank rec. So they just want the signature from the select board of that annually, and it's signed annually, but it's not on the agenda because I completely forgot to tell Sharon. So if you wouldn't mind also making a motion to sign that for me.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to sign.
Mary makes a motion, can I have a second?
Second.
Kyle has a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, 5-0.
And then the most important thing of the year, setting the tax rate. Dun, 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 dun. Yes. The education rates went up slightly, and so did the municipal rate. So we are looking at a municipal rate of 0.4620, slightly higher than last year. And the homestead education rate is 1.4557. The non-residential education rate is 1.6330. And those figures come straight from the state. We have nothing to do with setting the educational piece. Sorry about it. It is part of your bill. So I am looking for a motion to approve a total homestead rate of 1.9177 and a non-residential tax rate of 2.0950. We are raising a total of $8,373,024.20. Of that, $1,929,603 gets to stay in town. So it's a big, we will be sending $6,443,421.20 to the school system.
Okay,
I know.
I mean, you can't, right?
okay. Can I have a motion for the,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
okay, I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0.
Hey, Shelley, can you send those figures of what you just shared?
It's in the email that you got on Tuesday.
It is on it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've been having all kinds of problems
Like, okay,
getting into
yeah.
here, so.
Absolutely.
You know what, if it's there, then at least I know.
Yeah, they got the whole breakdown.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you see it? Okay. So yes, we will be printing, stuffing, mailing, middle of September, just about 45 days before the taxes are due, which is this year, October 31st, at 4 p.m.
Halloween.
I have one question.
Sure.
I've been hearing, I'm on the road a lot, now I'm back, going around town. Once the tax rate is there any way you can put it on the board so people realize what the tax rate is? We've got the board, is there any way you
You
can?
wanna cause an accident?
Well, I'm just, because I've had people ask me, that's all I'm asking.
Wendy puts it on social media, and it's posted at the post office.
Okay, I'm just asking because people have been asking me,
Okay.
and I'm
Make you
just,
some flyers.
I will give them out, just give them to me. Because I've had so many people has approached me, have they set the tax rate, have they set the tax? No, I'm going to a select board, I know you know, yes, I will know this,
Yeah,
but I just, people have been asking me, and I didn't have any answers for them, so.
Well, the listers have to finalize the grant list before I can do my job, and that
Okay.
didn't happen until last week, so.
Okay.
We're setting this tax rate the same meeting we did last year.
Same
and the year
exact.
before that.
It's a
and the
day
year
difference.
before that.
Okay.
I got one question, Shelley, on the note on the bottom about the common level of appraisals at 85.18%. What's the magic number that triggers townwide reassessment?
It's not, it's 80, but yeah, it's not always necessarily a magic number either. If it drops one way or another, a
Yeah.
certain percentage, then they'll force you to.
And there's not enough firms to do them. There's towns that have been triggered with a townwide reappraisal, but there's not the workforce to do the work. So there's a lot of towns that are in the queue for townwide reappraisal, so when we hit that number, we'll probably just be getting a line.
Okay. So we'll keep stepping to the back of the line if that helps.
All right.
okay,
The last time we had one was 2008.
Okay.
Anything else, Shelley?
I think I covered everything.
Okay, thank
Back
you.
to you, Richard.
Thank you. Wendy?
Is Tyler on yet?
He is not.
Okay, we're moving on. You have minutes from, when did we meet last? August 2nd?
Make the motion to accept the minutes.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, 5-0.
Thank you. Just a couple, for the last summer concert this Sunday at the Arena Fields. The music starts at 6:30. Team Jarvis. Sunday, the weather this weekend looks pretty decent. Ty, do they have the snack bar open for the concert?
Yes.
Okay, so the snack bar is open and they had bouncy houses and stuff. Is it every concert?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, lots of things to do. And that one is this Sunday. The offices will be closed September 4th, that is Labor Day. We're also closing the offices at noon, the day of Butch's open house, so we can go over and spend some time with Butch. So we'll still be here, but we're locking the office and we're gonna be over in Public Works with Butch.
It's Butcher's Day,
And I don't know if it's worth a plug or not, Sharon. We've had this job posted for quite a while, part-time zoning administrator application. The date on here is tomorrow. I don't believe we've had any nibbles. We thought we had some coming, but we haven't seen anything yet. Mike's last day with us is Monday. Yeah, his last day is Monday. His contract's good till the end of next week. So we're gonna have a transition there, and I really don't know how that's gonna work. So be patient with us while we figure it out. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. Is Tyler still okay? Before we go on to Sharon, and Ty, you're here now. We got a little question. Sue brought something up in public comment, and we figured you were the guy to talk to about this.
Sorry about that, Ty. You missed Ann, we did.
She would like to know about handicap, if there could be more handicap parking at the arena, because there's a lot of handicap people parking over at the school, and it seems like a long ways for them to walk. And wondered if there's something that come this winter, if we could make more parking at the arena, handicap parking.
That's something we'll definitely look into, yeah. I'll get hold of
Okay?
Champlain Line Sharpen and see what the requirements are for how many van spots you need if you add.
I
There
know.
must be a ratio of some
Right,
sort.
I think there is a Vern looked it up.
Minimum of 4 for the number of parking spaces.
Right now, I'm at 2.
Three. 4.
Oh, we do it 4?
Yes.
Oh.
2 on each side of the building.
Okay.
I know Kevin Spears was in here, and he said when the arena first opened, there was all in front of the arena was all handicap parking.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's something, just bring it to your attention. Okay? You okay with that, Sue?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, on to Sharon.
Okay, so again, Butch Brusso is retiring, so next Wednesday, 1 to 4. Stop in, we'll have snacks, light refreshments. Come in. Yeah. Also, to speak to Wendy, yes, we have a zoning administrator position still open. If you have any interest at all, please contact me here at the municipal office. The last thing I have is with our FEMA demolition on 2272 Macy Road. Part of that demolition is doing an asbestos and lead abatement. The consultant has come and done the tests and all the study. He has given us a bid of $10,920 to do the initial inspection, which he's done and we paid for, so that was $950. For proposing the cost for asbestos project design and bid administration, cost of removal and disposal of the designated asbestos containing material, and then to come back and to monitor and manage that project. So I am asking for permission to contract at $10,920. And I'm asking for special permission because asbestos abatement right now is a very timely thing because of all the flood damage. Contractors are extremely hard to get a hold of. So FEMA demolition has a time limit, and our time limit is the 28th of September, which we're not gonna make. So I'm asking for specialized service exemption to actually take the bid of $10,920.
Would you like a motion?
Yes, I would need a motion.
Yeah, can I get a motion for that?
Was asbestos found?
Yes, yes, I have a whole
Okay,
42 page.
all right.
It's basically the roof and all the caulking around the windows and doors. Yeah, that is the business to be in.
Yeah. Do we have a choice?
We don't have a choice.
Not really, because we're so limited on availability. Yeah.
He's already performed the test, right?
He has performed the test. I mean, we don't have to go with him for the cost of removal, but he's done the tests, and we're gonna need someone besides the contractor to come back and do the monitoring, so
Who is this, Sharon?
this is Clay Point Associates.
Oh, we worked with them before.
Yes,
Yep.
So Gilmet will do after that, correct?
correct. He'll do the demolition for everything after the lead and asbestos abatement.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0.
Was the archaeological assessment done?
It's already been done.
Okay, thank God.
It's already been done. I've checked every stream alteration, every EPA, every A&R permit. I've covered it all. But lead and asbestos caught us.
Pre-76, right?
Pardon?
It was pre-76.
Yeah. Yeah, it was unfortunate, but. Tyler's here. Woo. Tyler, can you hear us?
Seems like kind of a place we're looking at for the RC park,
Tyler,
$10,000.
unmute yourself. There you go.
There we go, sorry about that.
Only been 4 years.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, you have the select boards here, to talk about the transfer station and the costs that might be associated with that.
Yeah, I went out and looked at it when Sharon originally called me, before it grew a couple more times. Usually they keep growing as it rains and the bank continues to kind of slough in. I think it'll still keep going at probably the rate it is now for a while. It's pretty fine and unstable soils in there. I put together a very back of the napkin cost estimate. I haven't done any surveying, geotechnical work, design work, nothing. So it was kind of a very rough guess just to get you guys talking with FEMA and kind of understand the magnitude of it. It's pretty similar to the slide you guys just went out to bid on across the way. Probably slightly smaller in size, both width and height. but pretty similar in terms of fixing options and scope and all that stuff. So, you know, I don't know if you guys have gotten any further with FEMA yet or not, or if it's still kind of in the works. I know they were trying to lump all these disasters together from July, all these flooding events, but I think they got shot down by the governor, and now they're going to officially appeal it. But fighting FEMA is an uphill battle sometimes.
Yes, I've spoken to Vermont Emergency Management this afternoon. They are advising that we let them try to get a second emergency declaration and be lumped as part of Addison County storms. They're gonna try that first. They've agreed to help us one way or another, and hope that they can get the FEMA declaration. If not, they'll start a hazard mitigation grant for us.
Okay.
But for now, they advise us to leave it alone, to monitor it daily, keep them updated, ensure the public safety and critical infrastructure safety, but otherwise, wait on them. So, I don't know what you feel about that.
I'm not sure you guys have too many other options given the size, scope, and cost of it. I mean, you could try to slow it down by dumping rock over the edge. It's going to be throwaway rock at the end of the day. I mean, it's never going to reach the bottom. The right way to do those slides from the bottom up, you know, build a good foundation, and work your way back up, stabilizing things. Dump it from the top. You know, it's probably 60, 80 feet tall. You know, like I said, maybe it slows it down, it might just be wasting money. It is quite a ways from the building, which is probably the most, you know, critical thing to protect. I think when we talked last, it's just kind of, like you said, monitor it, keep sliding the cones and the caution tape comfortably back from the edge. That's about all you can do unless you wanted to try to dump some rock to see if you could, you know, slow it down barely, but I'm not saying it's not going to work, it just might be dumping money over the hill to not really gain much, but, you know, a couple loads of rock aren't all that expensive either.
Right. Now, does the board have any questions for Tyler that, I'm not sure if you can all hear him very well,
The Butch does.
Is there anything, Tyler, that we can do to divert the water, or should there, you know, water be diverted away from that, or?
It looks like that whole, good question, but it looks like that whole slope was all pretty fine, sandy material. So you might just be kicking one problem you got now over 100 feet and cause a second problem, which is probably there anyway, you just don't quite see it. You know, you get another 2-inch rainstorm, you pick it 100 feet over, and then you got 2 slides. They're basically connected at this point. So I would kind of, I think, keep letting it go where it is. If it grows 50 feet overnight over the next 2-inch storm, give me a call, we'll go look at it, see if we can divert it, just to buy you guys some more time. I mean, the problem is you guys know with FEMA is they don't do anything all that quick.
No.
So even hazard mitigation grants and all that kind of stuff, it's not, you know, we're not weeks away, you know, we're months away. The other tough part is, you know, winter's not that far around the corner. Something needs to be designed, do it right. We need to design, permitted, bid, you know, get a good contractor on board, you know, and then it's a process to build it. So it's, nothing's gonna happen fast, I don't think. So especially the price tag, I try to go high on the price tag.
Right.
For planning purposes and not know, you know, much more than a 15-minute site visit. So I think I'm high, but again, without doing any survey or engineering work itself, it's a guesstimate, not a good estimate at this point.
Tyler, can you give us an off-the-cuff idea of what surveying might cost if the select board chose to pay for the surveying to get it done this fall as opposed to waiting?
Yeah, I know we talked about that. I mean, it's a miserable site to survey. It's dangerous to survey in the wintertime. Icy, snowy conditions on unstable banks is not a good thing to do. To do a good survey out there, you know, a couple days to really get in there and get it surveyed, get out there. Less, you know, trying to do the math in my head, 2 people, you know, probably less than $5,000, more than 2, depending on how slow it goes out there and how scramble around in the neighborhood of that.
And if we were to survey it in the fall, that would put us that much further ahead for a design.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you've got hazard mitigation grant in January, you know, you almost couldn't do anything until, you know, April or May when things cleared up. So it would put you, you know, potentially a couple months ahead of the game. You know, if you got the hazard mitigation money in December or January, boom, you already have the data points in the computer and can start design work right away. I think if you're doing the survey now, it's probably worth putting on the site plan that you can at least share with, you know, FEMA and you know, Vermont Emergency Management, so they can kind of see something on paper versus just kind of pictures and a write-up. It might give it some better scale, just because it's, hold on 1 second. Guys, come on. Might give it some better scale to really get a zoomed out, you know, engineering base map to show how big this thing is. It's not just your average 10-foot side of the road embankment we're trying to fix here.
Right. Any more questions?
I just wonder, do we just try to put a little stone? We have stone down there.
Right.
Could be just dumping it for nothing, I guess.
It's not going to hurt anything. You got stone to burn, and certain sellers use their loader. You guys can bring your loader up and dump it. You know, don't put that truck too close to the edge there, but dump it further back and then kind of push it in with the loader. See how far it rolls, and then as much as you guys want to dump in there. Like I said, not going to hurt anything. I'm not convinced it'll help, but it's certainly not going to hurt anything. It might slow it down a little bit, and it might buy you enough time, but if you've got the stone, and you've got the trucks, and you've got the loader, if you want to drive, you guys want to drive. I get more, you know, not so much ditch stone, get like your at least type 2, you know, 2 foot minus. Or if you get 3 foot minus, even better. The bigger the better for slow that size.
Tyler, that was my question, only because I've had to ask some snow work done at my house. Would rip wrap with like number 2 gravel mixed together, is that what you're talking about?
The type 1, 2, 3, 4 stone is like a V-Trans spec stone. They've got a confusing definition for something that should be pretty simple. It's basically your type 2 stone is your biggest chunks are angular, usually blast rock or something like that locks together really well. Also mixed in with some smaller 1 foot baseball size and some like gravelly sand and stuff in there too. So that's, and then type 3 is the same idea, just like 3 foot minus, type 4, 4 foot minus. Just, it's kind of a well-graded material with some big stuff and some small stuff to kind of lock better together. So like I said, if you can only get type 2, you know, that's fine. If you can get bigger, that's going to be better with this look this size.
All right, thank you.
Does putting material in there affect any of this process with FEMA and emergency management?
Well, FEMA's saying, leave it alone and wait and see what happens. You know, if it endangers people or structures, then of course do something about it.
A lot of times FEMA does let you do kind of like they do for most flooding events, like they treat their emergency repairs kind of separate than the permanent fixes.
Right.
I would think dumping stone over now is a good case for an emergency repair because it's an active moving slide you guys need to buy some time with. I would hope if they write this up that you guys get reimbursed for that and then get reimbursed for the permanent fix if they decide to lump you guys out as a county and do it as a true, you know, a true FEMA site work project.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Tyler.
Yep, sorry again for being late.
No, not a problem, not a problem.
Okay, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call and we can talk through anything you got.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Okay. Any, select board, anybody have anything? No? Okay, I guess, we adjourn the regular meeting and, go into executive. And, that would be with, Nick Butch, Sharon. I think that's it. Can I have a motion?
I'll second it.
Have a second? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye.